All right, so we are back for Act 5, the final act of Macbeth. This one is fast. It's like brah, 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 brah. We have 8 scenes. Some of them are like a page long. I don't know how long that translates to in acting life, but they're really quick to read, quick to go through. And that's important. That is the way that Shakespeare wrote it. It's supposed to make us feel like, what's happening? Oh my gosh. Ah! So it's a stylistic choice to flip from each different point of view. So if we remember last act, we had Macduff. He's in England. He's talking to Malcolm. They are trying to get an army together. King Edward is going to help with the battle leader being Seward. It's a fun word to say. I didn't talk about him, but he shows up a lot here. He is the army general, I guess. And so he's in this act quite a lot. So with Act 5, we start off with a couple of people. We have a doctor and a gentlewoman. So we're in the castle of Macbeth, and we have this doctor, and he is there with the gentlewoman, which would be like a lady in waiting, and they are talking about Lady Macbeth. They've been watching her for the past couple nights, and the doctor's like, you know what, I haven't seen what you are talking to me about, what you're concerned about, the things that you're worried about. And the gentlewoman is like, oh, no, just wait, it'll happen. And then tonight, conveniently, is the night that it happens. So what happens here is that Lady Macbeth is sleepwalking, and the gentlewoman and the doctor are trying to figure out what's wrong with her. Why is she sleepwalking? Why is she sick? In this scene, Lady Macbeth, she admits a couple of things that people hadn't known, that they had thought about, that they had thought were true, but they had never actually believed never fully had proof that it was true. So this is a really, really famous scene. Lady Macbeth comes in, she's holding a candle, and she's freaked out. So she's sleepwalking, she doesn't know what's happening, but she keeps talking about these things, and she says, there's still a spot here. Okay, yet here's a spot. She sees this spot on her hand. Now, what do you think she's looking at? Is it an ink spot? Is it a spot of food? She actually imagines that she can see blood on her hands. So why would she have blood on her hands? Because she's guilty, right? So this sleepwalking scene is an outward manifestation of what she's feeling on the inside. And her guilt has caught up with her. It has made her so stressed out, so upset, gone mad. She's gone crazy. And this whole scene is basically her just admitting the things that she has done. One of the activities you're going to do next talks about this scene and how it harkens back to earlier acts where she said some of these things and then they're mirrored in this act. My favorite line, out damned spot, out I say. And I hope you guys really do enjoy watching the Judi Dench version of this. I think she just does the most brilliant of all of the Lady Macbeth. So yeah, so this whole scene, basically Lady Macbeth, she is feeling pretty guilty. She is upset. The Thane of Fife had a wife. Where is she now? And the gentlewoman and the doctor are like, oh my gosh, she's telling us everything. She needs to stop talking. She has her little fit. She goes to bed. The doctor is like, well, is she done now? And the gentlewoman says, yep, she'll be finished. And the doctor says, I can't really do anything to help her. Like, she is in need of a priest. She needs to confess her sins. But make it sure you keep an eye on her. Remove all means of annoyance. This is talking about get rid of anything that could cause her harm that she could use to hurt herself. And that's the end of that scene. Scene 2, we have a couple more Scottish nobles. We have Menteith, who we've never met before. Caithness, we've also never met before. Angus, who are you? No idea. And Lennox, who we do know. He's shown up a couple of times. So these guys are just more Scottish nobles, and they serve to show that the Scottish nobility does not want to support Macbeth. They are talking about how the English army is coming, and they're planning to go meet the English army so that they can lend their support to him. And they're meeting at a special place. They are meeting at Birnam Wood. Now I want you guys to hold on to that thought, because why is Birnam Wood important? One of the prophecies. Macbeth will not be defeated until Birnam Wood comes to Dunsinane. So hold that thought, okay? They also talk about who is with Malcolm. He's with Uncle Seward, this general, and Seward's son. And then he says, and many unrough youths that even now protest their first manhood. So basically they're with a bunch of like teenagers. So it could be like you guys fighting in a battle. They call Macbeth a tyrant. So again, that shows us that they do not support him. And basically they're talking about how Macbeth is feeling that the English army is breathing down his neck and he knows that his time is coming. And so they just keep off they go and they decide they're going to support Malcolm. All right, scene 3, we finally see Macbeth. He tells them, I don't want to hear anything more about what's happening. He already knows that Menteith and everybody else has gone off to see and support Malcolm. He doesn't want to hear about it anymore because he has the witch's prophecies to support him. He doesn't care. He knows that he's safe. This scene kind of just shows how stressed out and more freaked out Macbeth is getting. He's like, do this, no do this, do this, no do this. He, despite the prophecies, is very concerned about what's going to happen to him, especially because everybody's abandoning him. He's in a castle with people who are basically being forced to fight for him. Their heart's not in it. They're not loyal. And he understands that and realizes, well, this is not really the best situation for me to be in. He has a friend named Satan, so Seyton. Again, I have no idea who this guy is. He just shows up. He's there to support Macbeth, and he, for whatever reason, remains loyal to him. But he says, you know, he has a little aside to him, and he's saying, I'm sick, but I've lived long enough. I guess if I die, it's fine. The only problem that makes me sad is that I don't have any of the things that come with old age and that come with death. I didn't have honor. I don't have love. I don't have obedience and loyal friends. I just have people who want me dead because, cough, cough, I suck. So Satan and Macbeth are talking about preparing for battle. Macbeth says, give me my armor, I'll put it on. And Satan's like, you don't need to put it on yet. Like, you're in your castle. You're pretty safe in here. He's like, nope, I'm going to do it. Send out more people to fight for me. The doctor comes in, and Macbeth still wants to know how his wife is doing. And the doctor says, I can't do anything for her. And then they kind of talk about how Scotland is sick, and Macbeth says, I wish you could heal Scotland. But really the true medicine for healing Scotland is to remove this tyrant king. And so Macbeth will never do that. He won't give up power. And so Scotland, therefore, will be sick until he's gone. And again, they're talking to Macbeth and Satan and the doctor. It's fast, it's quick, it's bop, 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 bop. It shows how panicked Macbeth actually is. All right, with scene 4, we have Menteith and his buds. They've all finally met up with Malcolm and Seward, and also a key figure, Macduff. And they say, okay, the time has come. It is time for people to be able to sleep peacefully in their chambers. Again, that whole idea of sleep and peace, and Scotland will be saved. Seward asks, because he's not from here, he says, what is the name of this place behind us? Menteith says, this is Birnam Wood. Malcolm says, okay, everybody take off a branch, take off a bough, and we're going to hide behind it so that we can hide our numbers from Macbeth. He won't know how many of us are actually there. So we'll hide behind these branches and we will walk towards the castle. Interesting. Very interesting. And basically, yeah, they're preparing to go to war. So I'm going to stop there. You guys can tune into the next video for the rest of Act 5.